Hi there, this is Chris, and let's get on with doing the pistons. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust my microphone, move it over there, and I'm going to be doing the three-side microphones, three-side pistons today. So what I need to do first is just come down here, and I need to define how large my piston's going to be. So I'm going to create a sphere without auto grid on. It's coming to roughly where I think the middle is. And pull it out until I think it's about the right width. Okay, now what I intend to do here is take that, that and that, hide everything else, and just start moving this until it's going to be in roughly the correct position. So hit an F3. I can see how this kind of lies now, just like that. Perspective. F3. Okay, so I can see that this is a teeny bit large, so I can do some adjusting. So I'll take the radius down perhaps to 18. See if that's in it. That's 180. 18, there we go. Starting to get slightly less pinch at the sides, definitely. I'll bring it down to 70. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to hit F4. There we go. Just so I can see how many polygons we've got in this. Now then, we have 32. I'm going to reduce that down to 18 for the time being, so I can smooth it out after I've done this. Right click, convert to editable poly. I'm going to call this the lower leg standard pistons bottom. Okay, because obviously there's going to be a bottom half and a top half. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit to about there. Maybe a teeny bit higher. There we go. Okay, that way we can see that there's a bit of rotation space in this, but not too much. And I'm going to take the entire top, just break it off like a boiled egg. Ammo. Okay, now that will give me some leeway now to create the piston. Now these ones, the pistons at the bottom, and then the capping parts at the top. So I could swap it around if I wanted to, but to be honest, it makes more sense this way anyway, because we've got the control mechanisms then at the top of this. So I'm going to extrude straight up like that, pull it a little bit, that way we have some nice control over the directions it's going to go in and so forth. Okay, and then at the top of this I'll just do a small inset there, and turn that off, and I'll just dump a swift loop in there, like that, and down here with a couple of little swift loops, one there and one there. Okay, actually I'm going to move those further apart, that way I get a slightly more gradual curve on that. There we go. Now what I need to do next is invert this to make our basic, what do you call it, top half of the piston. So if I grab this and hit grow, just shift and drag, and just clone it to an object, click OK, because now I can take this and just flip it like so. Now what I'm going to do here is take my border, hold shift, bring it down to there. I'm going to hold shift, bring it down just a teeny bit further. Now I'm going to use my scale tool, and I'm going to scale it out just a little bit, then a little bit more like this, just to create this nice big piece. Then a little bit more, so I just get that lip on the edge if I'm using a turbo smooth or open subdiv, like that. and I'm going to go straight up here like so, and just create this part like that. Now then, it's quite a wide piece, this one, so I might want to bring it down a little bit. So if I grow and grow it again, obviously because I've got these parts here, I can then shrink them in a little bit. There we go. Not too much though. We're going to lose a lot of the strength to our shape. But that should do. Okay, now I'm going to go around my model and do some swift looping. So 1, 2, and make sure you're looping on the outside, not the inside. And then over here, 1 there, and then 1 there, and then another one above it. Okay, so that'll give us the polygons we need, and now I'm going to come out and use these to create the shape I need. So I'm going to create a new edge just about on this. I'm going to take out this edge here first actually. I'll just double click it and Control and backspace, it'll just delete it for me, and then I can just select here and do a ring select, Control select by polygon, and I will do an extrude, and this extrude will be by local normal, and it will be considerably less than that. Click tick. Okay, now I'm going to go here and select these like so. Okay, because I want these to come out a little bit, just look at their size. And change this to my, oops, wrong button, again wrong button, to my move, select tool rather than select and move. And just try and get this shape working for me. And that looks okay. And then in the top, I know there's no hollow behind this if I hit F3, so I can just go straight through them ones and then hit extrude again, and we get the same height yet again. Click tick. And just wait for autosave. No. No. God, I can't believe I did that. Alright, now what I'm going to do is disgust you all and do a swift loop. So I'll put one in there. There. And until I've done this, I don't even see the point of applying a smooth to my model. So there we go. And then down here. Now there are some pitfalls we need to watch out for. And that was one of them. Okay, if we straighten our edge too much, it's going to start looking a bit terrible. So be careful. Okay, and down here. Now we've already got some edges in the underside, but we should probably get rid of some of them. As you see, some of them are a little bit random. So these are ones probably that Swift Loop created whilst I was doing other stuff. You can do that. Okay, now let's go over the top of our model and make sure it's not done any there. No, we are looking good. Okay. Now at the top of our piston, we're going to have to create a lip. So insert, I'll do a bevel actually, it'll be easier. Up. Over. And I think what I'm going to do is, rather than kind of trying to forge a complicated shape the hard way, I'll do it very easy way. It'll make it easier for me. So I'll just literally place geometry on top of geometry. Now then, I'm going to do a quick open subdiv, which I can delete again later, so that's not really an issue. Pin it in the stack and show end result. And this means I can now go to my Swift loop, start messing around with this shape here, just to straighten the edges a bit. Actually, I'll turn off the show end result, because it'll be a little bit easier if I'm not looking at it all the time. Now, a problem we have here is that the edges are going to be quite curvy with our kind of inability really to put another edge up here, because it will reinforce this edge and make it the wrong shape. So there's a couple of things we can do, but normally the best one to do is just kind of come around and start doing these first. And then what I can do is I can put a crease on these as well. Now, a crease isn't as satisfactory as a subdivision, but it'll do at a push. And I shall show you how we do that in just a minute. There we go. Now, at the minute, if I do a subdiv, you can see that those are rounded, okay? And I don't really want the rounded shape. What I really want is straight edges. So what I can do here, just turn off that. Just go there. There we are. Is if I select our edges on the sides here by double clicking, and here. Okay, so these are the straight edges that I need. Now I can't loop these anymore because for some reason it doesn't want to let me. That's okay, we can just do it this way. Just need to select these edges here. Like I say, the good thing about creasing is that it saves you excess polygons if you are being more concerned about your polygon counts than I am. For I giveth not a toss about mine. Right, now if I show end result, you can see it's pretty smooth at the moment. If I just increase my crease, you can see it starts to straighten in quite a lot just there. Like that. Now I could, let's see, just need to turn that off again. There we go. I'm going to need to get all of them really. If I just show you it again. So I'll need to like put creases around all the edges on this to tense it up. In a second. So here. Here, and now if I show end result, as you see it flattens it much more satisfactorily, but you have to have the bottom one in as well. So I'll just turn off the show end result again, there, like that, see? But it does sharpen the model incredibly sharp. Okay, turn edge, turn edge preview off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this all the way down like that. I'm going to start selecting my edges. Obviously it's important to select the correct ones. There we go. Okay, just in here. I'm going to select the right one. It's early in the day, man. I can still taste the toothpaste. Okay, come over here. 1, 2, and again. One. Always make sure it's the correct ones you've selected, otherwise your model will be ruined, and you will cry and wet your pants. You'll probably blame me. Okay, now if we show end result, and I can just increase the crease. It's not like increasing the piece, incidentally. Okay, that's cool. Hit F4. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now I'm going to convert it to an editable poly, and the reason for that is, I'll just select this. Yeah, the reason for that is that then I can apply a second level of smooth to it, and hopefully it'll fix some of our hilarious artifacts that are being created in the previous part. I'm also culling off the top of this, just to create a single flat edge, like so. Actually, before I apply that edge, there, that's better. That fixes those little parts there. Rather lovely, and I can convert it down and make a trillion polygons. Right. Oh no, I'm still not 100% convinced with this model. Probably need to apply a slight relax to it. Just to ease some of the polygons a little bit. I think 0.5 is probably the closest I could hope for, but I just want to try and keep it as low as I can. Considerably better then. Take this off, and then I'm going to stick this on. Okay, and cap. Just going to check my piece is good and flat, so it was giving some strange little shapes earlier. There we go, and come back. Right, now the bottom part, obviously could probably do with a bit of open subdivision as well, just to smooth it out a little bit. Convert to editable poly, and now if I just look at my shapes, this is going to be a teeny bit high, so I'm just going to bring it down to about there, and that should do it. Okay, because now it's time for me to start putting the tops on these. So what I'm going to do here is create a box using auto grid and just draw it off the top like this, like that. Okay, because this is one of those splendidly simple parts. Right click, convert to editable poly, because we don't need to build it as if it's an actual physical piece. We can get away with quite a lot. So I'm going to swift loop here, and grab this, bring it in, like so. And then if I grab this and this, just chamfer them a little bit. Once, twice. Okay, that should give me a nice shape like so. Now if I select this, and this, and that, and that, and do a hinge edge. No, select by edge with Control held down. I can then deselect that and that. Now, if I go wait for autosave to do its business, do not turn off autosave. I can now go into a chamfer. Now I don't want to select the bottom one, there shouldn't even really be a polygon in the bottom. So I'm going to chamfer. Chamfer again, because curved surfaces always appear to have more strength, incidentally. That's one of the reasons why we do this. Okay, and that gives us this shape here. Now, if I go into my front viewport and zoom, and I am going to affect my pivot only, bring it up to about there, like so. Okay, now you can see that it's not really a round shape, but that's okay because we can give it the impression of being round, and that's almost as good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a copy of this. You notice I do not have angle snap on. Let's do that again. Press A. And what I'm doing is just making sure this is going to be in the right bit. Now, this needs to be thinner, so what I'm doing is just making sure the edges kind of line up as best they can, and then bring this across. Remember, I just want half my model, so like that. Now, before I create a little friend for it, I'm going to take out the part I don't need, which is there. And then I can grab this bit, hold shift and drag down, then use my scale tool just to bring it out a little bit, and that'll give me the bottom part that I need. Okay, now back across again, and just get it where it's kind of intercepting in there like that. I'm going to select them both and bring them across and down. That way it looks like we've got lots of nice tensile strength going on there, or whatever you call it. Tensile strength? No, it'll be on a hinge, wouldn't it? A pivot. So it's not tensile, I just can't remember what kind it is. Silly old me. Never mind. Now I'm going to create a cylinder. So I'm going to create it down here for reasons that are going to be explained to you, because I can't guarantee how flat a lot of these surfaces are if I'm auto gridding, but if I create it off the grid, it's always going to be flat. Right, now I'm going to take this down to 1 segment in height, turn this over, and start manipulating it by hand, into the right position. So once I've got this kind of sitting over the top of these two, then what I'm going to do is going to centre them and then bring in my actual radius until it's more manageable. There we go, just making sure there's no overlaps anywhere. And then, let me have a look. Yep, I'm going to increase the sides. So at the moment it's 18, I'm going to make it 24, just a bit smoother, not too much. And then I'm going to reduce the height on the young fella quite significantly. So, make it -5. Then I'm going to drag these over here like that. Alright, now, it's where fun, things get fun, you see. I'm going to create a duplicate of this, albeit probably slightly a little bit larger. So, Control V, and I'm going to call this a socket 01. And socket 01 is going to have a radius a little bit larger than the other one did, so 15 in this case. And then that means socket 01, you see, can go over here and be placed neatly in the side of this, safe in the knowledge that that other piece there will also fit inside it. Okay? There's also going to be a one on the front. So the one on the front I'm probably going to have to build an extraneous piece to connect it to, because I don't think the one on the front's actually got a rotation option. And I want this to be a lot more solid than the original one that I'm building it based on is. Okay, there we go. Now, for this delicious little thing here, isn't that a good word? This delicious little thing. I am going to right click, convert to editable polygon, take off the rear, of course we definitely need it, and instead I'm going to put a swift loop just around the outside like that, and then the inset of this polygon here. Right click out. Now what I can do is I can attach these parts to this, or I can just kind of link them together as a loose hierarchy. Now then, let me have a look at the shape I've got. So I should have this part here, which is going to connect to this part on here. So, delete, attach, and then if I just get my edges, bridge, I see. Did not remove that polygon. It's important too. There we go. Right. Now we'll select by edge again. Do the bridge. Do the bridge. There we go. And now cut that off. Okay, so that bit connects onto there, and then this border around here. Let's wait for autosave again. It'll take me a minute to select it all. I could do with a little chamfer around it so that it's not as sudden, not as, you know, I think the best way, yeah, it's not as jarring where the two pieces meet. Bear with me, I'm creating this tutorial early in the morning, late in the evening. Occasionally at times I'm actually like very much awake and I'm not dying on my feet, but this is not one of them. I hate that it tries to make you go back to the original position for this first bit. There we go, that's a nice sloping part there. So let's have a look. We now have that bit and that bit there. We don't have all the detail parts put in yet, but that will come. That will come. Now, while I'm forgetting, I'll put that over there as well. That way I've got another copy. And I need to attach on two fellas here. Take out that. And then go to bridge mode. Make sure I bridge both the elements, otherwise our model will not attach back together again. I'm just going to make sure that I've deleted all the inside polygons from this, and I have, so that's cool. Means I should be able to bridge this, even if the thing doesn't want me to. There we go. So now I can just cap in there. Like that. Okay, that's good. Now, what I have to do is kind of set this up so that I can move this without basically breaking my model. So, as we did before, we need to set up our pivot points on this. So, oops, in my front viewport, I'm going to go to my pivot, and for the moment I'm going to send it to the object, and then I'm going to bring it up. So pivot goes all the way up to there, and that's a good place because that's where I'm going to have my pin, and that means that this will then rotate from that part. Okay, good. Now, what I need to do, because I forgot to do it a moment ago, is put my pin actually through this. So remember, I don't really have a flat shape there, so I'm going to go for a cylinder, and pull it out from this bit. And hope that it goes through straight. Not even remotely. Wow, that was amazing. Okay, so I'll just shift and drag this one, because I know this one was created at the correct angle. And just start messing around with these while I'm putting it into the right position. There we go, so that's obviously the bottom. Oh dear me. So increase the radius. And decrease the height. Okay, now what I could do if I want to as well is I could use a boolean to punch a hole through this. It just depends really how much detail you want to go into for this one. I'm going to convert to editable poly and just bring this to around about there, from this edge, and then there. And this way, if I do it this way, I don't have to hide a lot of the detail. I mean, I don't have to build a lot of detail, I can just hide the fact that I don't have much by using the bevel tool. So bring that out just a little bit. Now I didn't want that to curve in like that, so it comes straight up and then straight in. There we go, that will work for me just fine. And now I can attach that pin to this, so attach. Okay, like that. And now this pin obviously will move and do all that kind of thing when the pin moves. Okay, now got to get these things kind of looking at each other, which is what we need. So what I'm going to do here is actually move this into the next section, because it'll be a little bit easier. We've done a lot of stuff now. So I'll see you in the next part. TTFN.